Hey everyone, welcome back to my kitchen. I'm Bethany, and today's recipe I'm going to be showing you how to make an Italian style chicken meatball. These meatballs are super moist, delicious, cheesy, and just really flavorful. If you're familiar with my Italian meatball recipe, my family uses a secret ingredient in those meatballs to make them really tender and juicy. We're going to be using that same ingredient today, and it truly makes all the difference. So let's get right into it. All right, so before we get into the meatball making, I wanted to just go over a simple little trick that you can do. A lot of meatball recipes are gonna tell you to use store-bought breadcrumbs. And the problem that I have with that is those are really dry. We actually want moisture from the bread to add to the meatballs. So what I like to do is just make my own breadcrumbs. It is so easy. So what I did was I toasted the bread that I have. Any sandwich bread works. And I didn't toast it until it's super dry. It still has some moisture in it. It's still a little soft. And I'm just gonna add that to a blender. And I want it to have a little bit of softness because that's moisture. It's not gonna be super dry and crispy like breadcrumbs that I would use for chicken parm or eggplant parm. I want that to be crispy because it's gonna be a crispy crust. Simple little steps that we can take to improve the meatball. Okay, so this is how we want them to look. And they have nice moisture to them. They're not super crispy and dry. This is what we want for a meatball. So now we can move on to making them. Okay, so for the first ingredient in our chicken meatballs, we're gonna do 1 pound of ground chicken. We're gonna do half a cup of our nice soft homemade breadcrumbs. And then we're gonna do 1 egg for binding the ingredients together. Then we have some beautiful chopped herbs for freshness. We're gonna do about 2 tablespoons of fresh basil and 1 tablespoon of fresh parsley. And then next we're adding the secret ingredient from my Italian meatball recipe, which is my family secret ingredient, ricotta cheese. This makes all the difference. In any meatball, it is a really mild flavored Italian cheese, but it adds so much tenderness to the meatballs. And I know that from my Italian meatball video, a lot of people were like, why are you using ricotta? Because the traditional ingredient is milk with bread. This is just what my family used, and I honestly think it's even better than the milk and bread. It's just, again, gonna add so much more moisture. And we're gonna do half a cup of that. And then if we're using ricotta cheese, we of course have to use Parmigiano Reggiano. I have a nice big brand new block here. And we're gonna do about 2/3 cup of the Parmigiano Reggiano. If you would like, you can also substitute this for Pecorino Romano. And I'm all for using freshly grated cheese, especially in a meatball, because this adds tons of moisture to the meatball. And of course, a really nice salty flavor. So next we're gonna add 3 minced garlic cloves. Then we're gonna add 1/4 teaspoon of black pepper, and then 1/2 teaspoon of salt. All right, now we're gonna mix this up. We'll just make sure everything is really well blended together. All right, that should be good. So what we're gonna do is get a pan ready. I have just a regular cookie sheet. I'm gonna spray this with a little bit of avocado oil or olive oil. Just gonna spread that out actually, because it didn't look like it spread very well. You can also put some parchment paper down on this too. All right, and then another way that I like to get a perfectly measured meatball is using cookie scoops or ice cream scoops. So I have a bigger one and a smaller one. Most of the time, my chicken meatballs, I always use the small one. I don't know why, but I think today I'm gonna use the bigger one. And we're just gonna scoop the chicken and then roll it up really gently. Just like that. And then we'll put that on our sheet pan and continue the process. This is just really perfect to make sure you got even sizes. You don't need to guess or think about it. And I am definitely aware that traditional Italian meatballs from Italy are very tiny. They're smaller than that other cookie scoop. So I know that these are bigger than what is traditional in Italy. These are just more of an Italian-American style. But yeah, if you want to stretch this a little bit more, the smaller cookie scoop will make more meatballs, and then this one will just make a smaller batch of bigger ones. All right, our last one. Now I'm gonna wash my hands and we'll get these in the oven. So they're out of the oven. We took some shots of it, but we did add the meatballs to some sauce. That's kind of the way that I like to serve them with. They are ready to eat when they come out of the oven. So they're fully cooked, but simmering them with some sauce is never a bad idea. The sauce can kind of get into the flavor of the meatballs too, but we're gonna taste them. They are also extremely tender. I have made other chicken meatballs with just parm, especially when I was testing this recipe out, and they were not this tender at all. It's that ricotta cheese. It makes such a difference. That is a delicious chicken meatball. I don't know about you, but I've had some bad chicken meatballs over the years, and even ones that I have made myself, just testing out better ways to make chicken meatballs. Most of the time, they're kind of like a bouncy ball-esque, like they're just a little rubbery. This is just so tender when you cut your fork into it, and a lot of times the fork will literally bounce back. So it's that ricotta cheese and really using those breadcrumbs to our advantage and not making them super crispy, but just making them yourself, toasting that bread so it has some moisture in it. Makes such a difference. Just with those little things, they all add up, and it is so tender, so flavorful. You got a little bit of that garlic, the fresh herbs are in there, lots of Parmigiano Reggiano. Well, that's everything for today. I hope you guys enjoy this meatball recipe, especially if you're looking for a leaner one that doesn't use the beef and pork. This is just perfect. It tastes like a real deal meatball, just using chicken. So I hope you guys enjoy it. And if you guys would like to support our channel, you can always like the video, you can subscribe, especially if you've been watching our videos for a while and you haven't subscribed, feel free to. And you can comment, say hello. I love hearing from everyone each and every week. It just always brightens my day to see the comments coming in. And I do my best to respond to each and every one of you, but I just truly appreciate all the support so much. And as always, I'll catch you on the next recipe and I'll see you in the comments.